CNN may have violated campaign finance laws, according to Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s campaign. RFK Jr.'s camp released a statement earlier this week claiming the network has ignored Federal Election Commission law by keeping the third-party candidate from the debate stage. In the statement, they write, quote, CNN, Biden, and Trump flagrantly violated the Federal Election Campaign Act requirement that media broadcasters use pre-established and objective in quotes, criteria to determine candidate participation. Failure to use objective criteria renders the debate a campaign contribution subject to strict donation limits. Now, RFK Jr.'s team filed a complaint with the FEC for this dubious language used to ensure he won't make the stage, but the FEC confirmed it does not recognize CNN's criteria.
Now, polls show RFK is pulling votes from Biden and Trump, and he's doing better than expected with Latino voters. Election advocacy organization Voto Latino released a survey Monday revealing that of 2,000 Latino voters surveyed in 5 critical states, Arizona, North Carolina, Nevada, Texas, and Pennsylvania, 1/5 or 18% of likely Latino voters were leaning towards a third-party presidential candidate. Joining us now to break all this down is Larry Sharpe, Outreach Director for American Values and former Libertarian Party New York Governor candidate. Larry, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. So this lawsuit that was filed about objective criteria, and it does seem that there is criteria laid out by the FEC, specifically being constitutionally eligible, appearing on a sufficient number of state ballots, and having a chance, or 15%, of winning votes in the Electoral College. So which of these did CNN end up violating?
Every single one of them. And because it was not actually objective or pre-established early on, the criteria also, the funny part is, the only person who actually does actually fit that criteria is Bobby Kennedy Jr. RFK is the only one. The other 2 candidates, Trump and Biden, are not on the ballot in any states. They are the presumed or presumptive candidate. And that's something that CNN decided to just make up. And I'm not making that up. They made it up, not me. There's no such thing as presumptive candidate in state law, no such thing as presumptive candidate in FEC rules and regulations. Nowhere is that a thing. They just decided that. And then they said to themselves, well, because they're presumptive, we don't have to put criteria on them. We'll just put it on Bobby Kennedy. And they know they did it on purpose. Their own reporting said that if they do it this way, it might weed out, their words, not mine, it might weed out some third-party candidates. This is purposely pushing this away. Not just that, they may not use party affiliation only. There was actually a case, I think it was the Labatt's case, if I'm not mistaken, 2012 in that area, that literally the judge said, you may not use party affiliation as a means to put someone on a debate stage. Why? Parties aren't part of the Constitution. That's something we just made up. George Washington told us to not do it. We didn't listen to him, but we did it. We made that up. These companies, and I say that when I say company, I mean that. These parties are private companies. Bernie Sanders found that out the hard way back in 2016, 2017, when he tried to sue the DNC. And a court case there, again, federal judges said, we can't touch this. It's a private organization. So literally coming up here in July for the Democrats and August for the Republicans, if they want to, they can pick anybody they want as their nominee. They don't have to pick Trump. They don't have to pick Biden. They can do whatever they want. They are a private company. Right now, we have a great system where 2 private companies run all our elections. So yeah, I'm not happy about this. The Bobby Kennedy's campaign is exactly correct. I support that concept completely. We have to break this system.
Now, it seems like what happened here, was obvious. CNN wanted to host this debate. Trump and Biden, something they can agree on is they didn't want RFK Jr. in it. It seems from the reporting that they clearly signaled they were only going to participate in this debate, both of them, if it was just the 2 of them on stage. They didn't want to share. And CNN kind of subtly confirmed that today. It seems like it was a little bit of a backroom dealing, because this isn't the debate commission. The debate commission's rules were, 15% you get to be in the debate. I know that Gary Johnson was close to that in 2016, and there was a lot of libertarians like myself being like, okay, we're being really strict here to exclude him at this point. But here, they Biden and Trump both said, screw the debate commission. We're just kind of making this agreement with CNN, and we're not going to include RFK Jr. So it seems to me that even if he was at 15%, that wouldn't matter here because CNN was not going to include him because the debate wasn't going to happen from the Trump-Biden perspective.
I really wish debates were about, Americans getting to understand who we're going to see, about getting information about candidates. It's not. It's about ad revenue. That's a fact. And CNN wanted ad revenue. CNN, by the way, which is not usually done, has decided that they actually wanted to add and will add, if this actually goes, they will add commercial time during the debate. Yes, they will not just do that. They will put it on Max, which is, of course, is their subscription. They'll do that too. This is all about CNN bringing in bank. That's what it's about. They don't care about you or me or either candidate. And if one won't show up, well, then they don't have debate. They don't get cash. We all know that right now, CNN, if they're lucky, they get, 500,000 people watching a given night. If they're lucky, podcasts get far more than that any given day. So they're desperate for that 100%. The reason why they broke away was to make a deal, right? They wanted to make a deal outside of the rules. That was their entire goal. Look, the reality of it is Trump and Biden are two desperate men who just want to keep this fighting on a culture war. They don't want to deal with real issues at all, right? Earlier, you just mentioned how many Latino voters are looking at RFK Jr. Why? He's talking about the American dream. He's talking about small businesses. He's talking about chronic illness. He's talking about the debt. He's talking about things that people care about. Biden and Trump don't do that. They talk about how other guy is bad and how elect me and I'll give you my form of democracy however I see fit. Bobby Kennedy wants to break this system, and they know that. And the system doesn't want to be broken. So that's why they push against it. You are exactly correct.
Is this, but my question is the FEC complaint likely to do anything? It does look to me like we're getting a little, I'm not disagreeing with the analysis you had there at all. They're going to say, well, yeah, that's really technical and we don't care. I could very, very well see that being the response from the government on this point. And, and then from a libertarian standpoint, I'm not sure I would even want, while I'm going to make fun of CNN, I'm going to criticize them for not having a debate that includes RFK Jr. Do I think they need to be legally obligated under obscure campaign law? Frankly, probably not. I don't think I should, I would, now Rising here, we would love to host a debate with all three candidates and with Chase Oliver and the Green Party and anyone else as well. But, I wouldn't want the government to tell me, which I would voluntarily want to feature an actual debate with all the candidates. I wouldn't want the government telling me how to run it. So is there a little bit of that coming into play here?
No, this is actually not at all. I think the reality of it is if you did it, as long as you had objective and pre-established, criteria, it'd be fine. Do it. Say, hey, if you make X percent, Y percent on this number of ballots, whatever the case may be, just do that. It's fine. I don't see anything wrong with that. Freedom Fest this year is hosting one with very wide open, good criteria. The Free and Equal Foundation is doing it. Not a problem at all. But this is CNN. CNN is taking advantage of the government to the best of their ability whenever they can. And then now they don't want to pay attention. No, if you're going to take the good, you take the bad also. But not just that. I think what is a more important piece, they literally are putting people like Trump and Michael Cohen, making them felons based upon election law, based upon campaign finance. And the argument here is if CNN does this with people who they pick and pushing out others, that they are giving away basically advertisements for free. This is millions of dollars in campaign contributions. Do they want to just make it legal and do a campaign contribution as an organization? Follow the law like everybody else. Don't put other people in jail. And I'm fine with it. But they are doing that. That's the problem. There is no double standard here. And what should happen is the FEC should step in and say, stop. And I think CNN is feeling the pressure, and I hope they stop. If they don't, here's the easy thing. Just put Bobby Kennedy on the debate stage. That's it. You solved your problem. But the problem is, to your point, that's what they don't want. This isn't about that. It's about them keeping their donors happy, keeping the advertisements coming from Democrats, Republicans. It's just about cash.
Larry Sharpe, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.